Namaste Yoga Mamas, I'm Emma from Becoming Mama Yoga, and this is a postnatal core recovery type pose, hovering table. When you're ready, just come to hands and knees, get a little fussy with how you're lined up, and it's probably safest to wait until you're at least 2 to 3 months postnatal, or have clearance to do this sort of exercise from preferably a women's health physio, but any physio or a doctor, just to be sure that you've had enough time for healing after birthing, regardless of the style of birth, but especially post C-section. No extra strain on the abdomen, especially for the first 6 to 8 weeks. Just align the hands under the elbows and the shoulders and press weight evenly into all 4 corners of each hand. Check in with the knees, that they're somewhere underneath the hips and that the ankles are in line with the knees. You can even turn to have a little look if you'd like. This is the basis for all of our hands and knees postures, and you can do this even early postnatal and just enjoy a little bit of stretch, maybe rocking side to side. And when you're ready to go further, our first step is going to be pelvic floor and core engagement as always. So we're going to exhale, and as we do, the pelvic floor just naturally wants to lift a little anyway, but we're going to encourage that to lift in and up towards the spine. And once you get to about 2/3 of the way lifted with the pelvic floor, you're also probably going to feel your deep core muscles, the transverse abdominals especially, come on, and that's what we want. We'd really like them to engage for optimal pelvic floor function, because these muscles work synergistically together. So we want to be able to activate the pelvic floor first, but then as the movement sweeps further up, we want those muscles of the deep core to come in and up towards the spine, making sure our belly button is lifted in nicely there. So that engagement is the first step for every stronger abdominal pose that we're going to do in our postnatal yoga. When you're ready, if it feels okay to you and you've got that nice engagement going on, you can just lift both the knees off the mat. So you'd press into the tops of the feet to do that, and you don't need to hover for long. You just feel into what your body can manage, and if it's possible for you to do so, you can also have a look. Make sure you're not getting any doming at the midline when you do that, so that would be a little harder to tell when you're on all fours compared to when you're on your back. But it's a sort of triangle shape trying to push out through the midline, which indicates that the pressure has overcome the muscle's ability to hold. So you would ease back out and go to an easier exercise if you are getting any of that doming. If it's uncomfortable to press into the tops of the feet, you could always look at tucking the toes and using that as your basis for hovering the knees up off the mat. And like I said, we're just wanting to start engaging and managing our core function and turning those muscles on, tuning into them and how they're going. And it really doesn't have to be for long to get them waking up again. And if you are tiring at any point, you'd put them down again. You can do multiple repetitions that are short to start with, and then as you get stronger and stronger in your recovery, you'll find yourself hovering for maybe a little bit longer before you start to feel like those core muscles are letting go, or like the pelvic floor is maybe struggling to be capable of sort of holding and maintaining the pressure without trying to bear down almost. So we're just really staying quite tuned in to the body at all times while we're hovering, and giving it as much rest as it needs, and trusting that every time we do this, we get a little stronger and start waking up and recovering our core that little bit more. So that one's quite a good one for developing the strength and coordination for return to activities you used to do, like running and lifting and all of that sort of thing. I hope it helps.